Welcome to r/EntitledPeople, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. Entitled client freaks out over a power outage, and then embarrasses herself and her boyfriend. The second story. I was the reason that almost the entire staff of this company quit. The third story. Screwed the president of the HOA when he tried to get me to vote. The first story is, the entire neighborhood is blacked out, refund me. I work in a rather large, almost luxury level hotel in a major city's industrial park area. So my hotel tends to be sold out during the weekdays and nearly empty on the weekends. So of course our rates drop massively for the third-party booking sites. However, for this one particular Friday night, that wasn't really the case. We were actually pretty close to half full, and it was all due to this one massive group that was staying with us. We had almost all of our ballrooms and meeting rooms booked up for this one group. I won't go into details on who they are, but these people are near secret society level with how many pockets they have their hands in. They're an old school organization with big money, so my managers and the sales team really wanted this entire night to be perfect for them. You can guess from the title that the night was not perfect. The group was due to start their event at 2 p.m. and keep the party going until 1 a.m. I came on shift at 2:30 p.m. As soon as I walk in the door, there's a 5-man drum line and 4 guys playing bagpipes in our restaurant, and they are not quiet. The noise from them is so loud that I'm having to scream at guests to check them in. Thankfully, most of my check-ins were more people from this group and were actually happy to see the band. I didn't share their enthusiasm but was grateful no one was upset by it. Around 5 p.m., the band stopped playing and the dinner for the event began, which meant our entire lobby and restaurant went from a mass parade of people and noise to dead silence. It was ghost town level quiet. I loved it. I managed to get the last of my check-ins taken care of. Some of the big group and some were third-party stays, and even helped a small family gathering that was hosting a little girl's birthday party. Nothing big, just her parents, and some friends for a pool and pizza party. We don't allow food and drink in the pool area, so I let the family use one of the empty meeting rooms that the massive group didn't book. They were grateful and tipped me and the 2 other staff members who helped them out a nice $10 each. The massive group's dinner ended around 7 p.m., and they consumed our bar and restaurant again. The lobby was bursting with people in fancy dresses, expensive suits, and lots of red fez hats. I'm not kidding, they're that kind of old school organization. By 9 p.m. they had gone from loud to loud and drunk. My head was beginning to hurt, and I asked our engineer to watch the desk while I ran away to the restroom. I decided to use the restrooms in the pool area so I had an excuse to check on the pool party people. They had already gone to their rooms and another family was using the pool area now. I picked up some towels that had been thrown about and mopped up a few puddles, then headed on to the restrooms. At 9:20 p.m. I just finished washing my hands and go to dry them when the lights go out. I first thought that the lights were set to a motion sensor and I just stood still for too long. So I wave my arms about as I walk to the door, and the lights don't come on. I open the restroom as the family in the pool starts saying, "It's okay, the power will come back on." I panic. I whip out my phone and turn on my flashlight. I walk to the pool area and see the parents and their kid in the water still. I ask if everyone is okay and they say they're fine. I ask them to get out of the water and come to me, so that I can lead them out into their room. I explain that until the power comes back on, we need to shut down the pool area. They understood and I shined the light on a clear path and walked them out to the stairwells. Thankfully, they were staying on the 3rd floor and our emergency power was working to light the stairwells. I met up with our other staff members in the MOD and we discussed what was going on. We thought the massive group must have blown a fuse and our engineer was already checking on it. Turns out the entire neighborhood was dark and no one knew why. The group was asking what was going on, but most of them were just drunk and confused, not scared or upset. Our emergency lights kept a good portion of the restaurant and bar area lit up, while my half of the lobby was dark except for some candles and flashlights to light the path to the elevators and stairs. Elevators later came on due to emergency power, and our phones as well as one computer at my desk was working. After the initial curiosity wore off, the entire group was laughing at the party so hard they shut the entire neighborhood down. They were also happy that our bar and restaurant were still open and serving, despite the now limited options. Guests were calling from their rooms asking what was going on, and after ensuring that they weren't hurt in their rooms, I just explained that we were working on it and power would return shortly. That answer wasn't enough for this one entitled girl. E.g., so when is the power coming back on? Me. We are waiting to hear back from the power company at this time. I can give you a call back and let you know once we have an answer if you'd like. E.g., well, is the pool closed? Me, yes miss, we've shut down the pool and fitness area until power can be restored. It's not safe to be in there at this time. E.g., this is BS, I want a full refund right now. Me, miss, I understand you're upset and do apologize for the inconvenience. However, we're not able to make that decision at this time. E.g., you're not refunding me? I paid a lot of money to stay here. Either open the pool or give me back my money. Me, miss, I cannot do that at this time. E.g., I'm sending my boyfriend down there to talk to you. This is unbelievable. He's gonna kick your A, you stupid B. She ended the call and I just rolled my eyes. I remembered checking the two of them in. They were staying on a super cheap third-party rate and weren't a part of the massive group or the pool party. I pulled up their reservation and quickly wrote down the information needed to hand off to the mod in case things did get ugly. While doing so, the power company called us with an automated message saying they were working on it. The engineer also stopped by and told me he saw an update on the power company's website that stated we may get power back around 11:15 p.m. Seconds after the engineer walked off, the boyfriend came down to the desk and was running sideways to me and crashed into my desk, almost knocking a lit candle over on me. He was clearly drunk. BF. Oh, hey, my girlfriend just called down? Can I get your manager's info? Me. Sure, here's my general manager's business card with my name and title written on to the back. I'm the front office supervisor here. BF. Yeah, cool, thanks. Crazy about the power. Do you know what's going on? Me. Actually, after speaking with your girlfriend, the power company called us and informed us that they are working on it. We have the estimate that power will be back on around 11:15 p.m. BF. Cool. Hey, sorry for my girlfriend. She paid and is kind of freaking out on it. But I mean, we did pay a lot. The boyfriend then looked around at the people at the bar and restaurant and realized there was a large fancy party happening over there. BF. Oh, snap. Fancy threads. How much did they pay to stay here? Me. A little more than twice what you did. BF. Eyes wide. Whoa, they must be wanting their money back too then, huh? I mean, we can't be the only ones asking for a refund, right? Me smiling. No, just you. BF looking confused. What? They spent so much though. Me. Loving this. Oh, that's nothing. Our weekday rates are usually 4 times what you paid. BF jaw on floor. Dude. I was 100% serious and the guy realized it. He then turned and walked into the crowd of people at the restaurant. Sometime later, his girlfriend came down off the elevator looking for him and gave me dagger stares as she stomped into the crowd to find him. I didn't pay much mind to her and went back to what I was doing. At 10:30 p.m., our power came back on, and at around 11 p.m., my bartender came up to me and started unloading on me about how everyone was loving the power outage, except this one young couple who she and her staff never served, but were clearly wasted and tried to order drinks. She turned them away because the guy was in a t-shirt and swim trunks, while the girl was wearing a bikini with a tank top over it. Our restaurant does have a dress code, so does the bar. You can't be dressed like that and expect to be served. I laughed and told her about the angry phone call I got from the bikini girl wanting a refund. My bartender gaped and then told me she overheard them arguing after she turned them away from the bar. The girlfriend tried to argue with my bartender about being turned away, and the boyfriend went pale and dragged her away when he realized they were being stared at and laughed at by all the people in the fancy threads. My bartender told me their argument was more the boyfriend begging to either go back to the room or go home. The girlfriend was fuming and wanted a refund. The boyfriend offered to pay her back and she accused him of being embarrassed of her. He actually nodded and said yes loudly and in her face. She shoved him and ran off angry. They must have made up later on because before I left I saw them playing around in the pool, after hours. I told my security guy to just leave it be for another hour but to keep an eye on them. I got told later that they just went to their room a little while after I left, tried to do a late check and were denied, trashed the hotel room and did call my GM wanting a refund. My GM heard the story from me and just shrugged it off, and let me make the phone call explaining that not only was her request denied, but due to her behavior on property, she isn't welcome back. I love my job. The second story is leaving them in a lurch. I work within a very small department at my job, 10 people total, 3 are part-time and 3 others are still in training. I genuinely like the clinical population I work with, but I can't survive on $24 an hour, salaried. I've stopped working nights and weekends at home after my SO sat me down and explained he would absolutely leave if I couldn't reel in my workaholism. I woke up 3 weeks ago and I realized it was the same SH I put my family through every morning. I'm yelling and slamming doors, swearing at my SO and kiddo, screaming at the dogs. I went to therapy that day and finally put two and two together. Please note that I've been in therapy for almost a year trying to figure out why I got so angry. I started going to therapy about a month after starting my current job. I started applying at other companies. None of my interviews are under $28 to $30 an hour, with a much easier work-life balance. No formal offers, but several rounds of interviews. My dream job is now on the table, at $38 an hour. I've wanted to work a position like that since I started in the field. I've been very open and honest with my team that I am leaving, as soon as I can. Yesterday, I'm afraid I bombed an interview and don't have high hopes of getting the position. It's okay, it was my third string. I went back to work and offered to name drop a coworker when and if I got the thanks but no thanks call. She practically begged me to and got very excited. Then I found out our absolute garbage person of a team lead, that's a whole other story, is also leaving. And one of our only full-time employees put in her 2 weeks. And after the intense suicide call we handled this week, our other full-time person is considering leaving the field altogether. Two of our part-time employees, I train them both and try to support them as much as I can, are gearing up to follow me to whatever position I land. Please read that as less egotistical than it comes across. If all of our well-laid and honestly desperate plans come to fruition, the team will drop from 10 to 3 within the next 2 to 3 weeks. They'll be left with 2 untrained full-time employees and 1 girl who works around 10 hours a week. My department literally keeps the lights on at work and the company can't function without us. Maybe that will teach our C-suite to F the F right off. Quick update, we all quit. The department is 2 untrained people. 3 if you count the new department manager who started Monday. Fun bonus, I was able to help 6 of my coworkers land jobs within the field with better companies before I left. And the last story is, support my neighbor in his fight against the HOA to keep his pet wallabies, mini kangaroos. My next door neighbor has 3 pet wallabies. They look like tiny kangaroos. I don't know the difference, which apparently is legal in South Carolina. The HOA CCR mentions nothing about pet sizes, limits, etc., but they're peeved about the wallabies. There really is no reason to. Our backyards are like 140 feet by 100, which is apparently more than the recommended bare minimum for keeping pet wallabies of 50 by 50 feet. I Google searched having pet wallabies. There's also 3 of them so they can socialize. The animals are clearly kept for, not being abused, and most importantly, they're not a nuisance. They're not bothering anyone. Our president is just a D who wants to get rid of them. Since the HOA CCR mentions nothing about them, he's trying to amend it or get a vote to make them remove them or be fined. Most of the neighborhood said no because nobody else cares. I don't care either, so when the HOA president knocked on my door, asking me to take his side, I said, "I'm not interested. Please don't bother me about this again." He kept trying to talk to me, so I slammed the door. Another HOA member came back a few days later and I said, "I told you guys I'm not interested, so please stop." And I slammed the door. She kept ringing my doorbell, and when I opened, she said I was so rude, so I told her, "I effing told you twice to peeve off. Now leave me the F alone." And I slammed the door. I started getting letters asking me to vote, and I got another visit from the president again. I told him he had 10 seconds to leave before I called the police, so he did. F these people. I hope you love these stories. Subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. Have a good day.